was taking a walk the other day, and I seen a woman, a blind woman, pacing up and down the sidewalk. She seemed to be a bit frustrated, as if she had dropped something and having a hard time finding it. So after watching her struggle,
The album that shifted culture. Damn by Kendrick Lamar. Playing the album from track 1 Blood to track 14, Duckworth. On Duckworth, Kendrick dies from a gunshot as a result of his wickedness. This comes as a result of Top Dawg shooting his father in the outcome of the story of Duckworth. Kendrick grew up without a dad and would probably die young in a gunfight, presumably over something drug or gang related, continuing the cycle of violence. Kendrick would probably have a kid, either be dead or be in jail, and that kid would grow up without a father, and history repeats itself. This is the cycle of violence that ravages the Black American community, and this is the main focal point of Damn. Our destiny is in our hands. Why continue the cycle of violence?
I pull up, hop out, air out, made it look sexy. They won't take me out my element. Nah, take me out my element. I'm allergic to a bitch nigga, ayy. An imaginary rich nigga, ayy. 7 figures, how that slim.
Damn is the judgment of the soul. Throughout the album, Kendrick battles himself and is conflicted on whether he should follow God or succumb to his own wickedness and continue the cycle of violence. Throughout the album, he sees points of light and can be seen to decide to follow God and therefore escapes the cycle of violence and creates his own destiny, new path for himself away from the continuous cycle. Or he could succumb to his weakness, seen in the track DNA, that the violence is in his own DNA. The gangsterism is his own DNA. Drug dealing is his own DNA. The violence is in his own DNA. Because of his DNA, he will continue the cycle of violence and choose wickedness and continue to rob, steal, and do all manner of crime to his own community, which is a lifestyle of wickedness. But this is merely Kendrick being conflicted with himself on which decision to make, which path to follow, or weakness. But we see that he chose to follow God. But the album is mainly about him being conflicted and this decision that we all have to make, either to follow God or to follow our own wickedness.
Love's gonna get you killed, but pride's gonna be the death of you and you and me and you and you and you and me and you.
The eternal cycle of damnation. This is a theme highly reflected throughout the album Damn, saying that because of our wickedness, we're stuck in this cycle of damnation, this cycle of violence that will never end, a cycle of fatherless children and violence, and people will continue going to jail, continue dying on the streets, and continue being trapped in this violence with no escape, or being too weak to perpetrate that lifestyle and dying as a victim of that environment. This is the cycle of damnation we see on Damn, and Kendrick is conflicted whether or not to partake in this cycle or forge his own path. He is giving the listener his own point of view, a peek into his own life, of his youth growing up, surrounded by violence, surrounded by crime and illegality, but deciding whether to follow the wickedness or to succumb to his own weakness. But Kendrick decides to break the cycle and choose his own path through music. He decides that no, I won't be part of the cycle of violence. I won't be part of the wickedness, and I won't succumb to my own weaknesses. He decided to choose music, to choose his own destiny, and to stand by it no matter what. And this is what we see throughout the album. On a song like Pride, he says, love's gonna get you killed, but pride's gonna be the death of you and me and you and you and you and me and you and you and you and me. Basically goes on saying that love will get you killed because love is weakness. Well, pride is wickedness and is gonna kill everyone around him, including him and everyone he associates with. Hell raising, wheel chasing, new worldly possessions, flesh making, spirit breaking, which one would you lessen? The better part, the human heart, you love him or dissect him, happiness or flashiness, how do you serve the question? Basically, what Kendrick is saying here is, whether we choose to flash our lifestyle, to show we are the best, we're better than you, or we choose the human heart, the better part, choose to love, to be happy, to not partake in the violence. But pride will not never allow that, and that is why pride will be the death of you and me.
I see in a perfect world, I choose faith over riches. I'll choose work over bitches. I'll make schools out of prison. I'll take all the religions and put them all in one service just to tell them we ain't shit.
The duality of Kendrick Lamar. This is an internal conflict in Kendrick for this album, between his wickedness or his weakness. In general, between light and darkness. The light side of Kendrick is the compassionate side, the side that wants to use music to change the world, to help people, to enlighten the black community on the cons of violence and why perpetuating this cycle will end us all. But we can choose love, we can choose peace, we can choose growth and harmony. That is the light within Kendrick. But the darkness is the pride, the lust, the anger, the rage, the propensity for crime, the hunger for money and power, the lust for power, the evil within Kendrick. This is the darkness. The Kendrick fights not allow this darkness to take over. Because if the darkness takes over, he will choose wickedness and he will die on blood. But if he chooses the light, he may succumb to his own weaknesses and die. This is the duality of Kendrick Lamar, between his own light and his darkness, between his own wickedness and his weaknesses. It gives us a POV or a look in the mirror to our own lives, that every day we wake up, do we choose our wickedness or our weaknesses? Do we choose our light or our darkness? Do we choose to continue in our negative spirals, in our lust, in our darkness? Or do we choose the light? Do we choose to love? Do we choose to hope? Do we choose to grow? This is duality. And Kendrick is battling himself. It was me versus me, Kendrick says on the album. And he's right. It's always been Kendrick Lamar versus Kendrick Lamar. His wickedness versus his weakness. His weakness is his kind heart. his love, his growth, his feelings, his lust, his God, and his blood. These are his weaknesses. But he must not follow his weakness. He must rise above and forge his own path, forge his own journey, become something that transcends all of that. And that is what Kendrick is fighting for throughout the album. On the song DNA, he says, inside his DNA, he has all these ambitions, all these dreams, all these great things inside his DNA, but his own DNA may stop him from truly achieving that greatness. His own duality may stop him from truly achieving that ambition. But does he rise above? Does he choose wickedness or weakness? Well, that is the question on Damn.
Brace yourself. Lust is all yours. Some water. Something came over me. Way too hot to simmer down. Might as well overheat. Too close to comfort. Throw the floor in his lap. Walk myself to the court like, bitch, I did that. Ain't no black power when your baby killed by a
The fear of God is a big theme on Damn, where Kendrick shows his belief in God, that he believes in God and he wants to follow God through his music. But the wickedness within him, his own DNA, is poison, power, pain, and joy within his DNA, won't allow him to truly follow God in the pursuit of his music. His own pride, his own fear may not allow him to follow God, but he wants to follow God anyway. He has the fear of God and fears eternal damnation to the cycle of violence, because the cycle of violence is eternal damnation to Kendrick, because it perpetuates and continues forever throughout the black community. That is eternal damnation, the cycle of violence. Kendrick fears this, but he does have the fear of God. But his own wickedness, his own darkness won't allow him truly change, truly evolve, truly move on. This is why Kendrick is conflicted. But there's hope. Kendrick decides that the violence isn't worth it. Millions of people dying. Millions of kids left without fathers. Millions of single mothers left to raise their babies. Millions of people stuck in poverty. Millions of people stuck in a cycle of violence and poverty. It's not worth it for Kendrick. Kendrick wants a new path, a new vision. All these ambitions within him. He wants his own path, his own journey, a new path for black people. A new path that doesn't involve violence, hate, crime. A new identity. And that is what Kendrick actually achieved with Damn. He shifted the culture. Kendrick decided not to choose his wickedness, and he decided not to succumb to his weaknesses. He decided to forge his own path, his own destiny. Putting your destiny into your own hands. That is what Damn is about. Kendrick put his destiny within his hands and chose his own path and worked for it and achieved it. He chose music. He didn't let the fact that he's from Compton stop him. He didn't let the cycle of violence that he was born from stop him because of what his dad did. His dad actually ended the cycle by not committing crime or killing TD, killing Top Dog Entertainment. That was way before Kendrick was born. On the song Duckworth, he explains the story of how his dad and Top Dawg became friends. And due to that action, the consequence of that action is TDE discovering Kendrick and Kendrick becoming the biggest rapper in the world. If his dad killed TDE or they continued the cycle of violence and they either killed each other or went to jail, Kendrick would just die in the violence of his youth. He wouldn't have a father. He wouldn't choose music. He would just be another black kid wasted due to gang violence. So due to his dad ending the cycle, Kendrick has the opportunity to choose his own destiny, and he decides that he will not choose wickedness and he will not succumb to weakness. He will forge his own destiny in his own hands and take it by force. The album shifted black culture forever. It showed black people that they can choose their own destinies. They can take matters to their own hands. They do not have to continue the cycle of violence or the cycle of damnation. They do not have to follow their wickedness or succumb to their weakness. They do not have to die senselessly in violence or poverty. That they can forge their own destiny, that they can take it in their own hands and choose life, choose growth, choose evolution, just as Kendrick did. Now, we've gone through all that. What is the story of Dan? The story of a man, Kendrick Lamar.
Damn.
God damn you. God damn me. God damn us. God damn we. God damn us all.
Verse 2 says, you only have I known of
Who
all the
had two
families of
choices:
the earth. Therefore,
to succumb to his wickedness or to die from his weakness. He was going to die either way. He was conflicted within himself and wanted to follow God, but didn't know how to because of his own DNA. He was stuck in the cycle of damnation, which is the cycle of violence. What is he supposed to do? Oh, this is what he did. He confronted his demons. He faced his own problems head on. Confronted his DNA. Confronted his darkness within him. And he chose a different path.
And do what the Lord says. These curses is going to be upon us. We're going to be at a lower state in this life that we live here and today in United States of America. I love you, family, and I pray for you. God bless you. Shalom.
It was always me versus the world, until I found it's me versus me.
That he would not die for wickedness. He will not partake in the cycle of violence. He will not die from weakness. But he will forge his own destiny and choose his own path and live, evolve, and grow. And that man became the greatest rapper in the world, named Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. And that is the story of Dan. In conclusion, Damn changed culture. It changed the way we look at storytelling from hip-hop albums. It changed the way we look at artistic direction from rappers. It changed the way we look at the black community. From a place of violence and poverty to a place of growth, evolution, and artistic prowess. That is what Kendrick Lamar did with Damn. He shifted culture forever. And that is why Damn is one of the most important albums of the 2010s. The album changed the game, it changed everything, it shifted culture completely. And yeah, that is why Damn is the album that shifted culture. Kendrick Lamar. Thank you for watching. It's been Nazaro, and see you in the next one.
Then die in a gunfight. Rest assured, the world
So I was taking a walk the other day.
Took my damn parking spot.
I told her I didn't take your damn parking spot.
And how did that make you feel, reacting that way?
I felt decent.
Oh, how come?
Because I did take her parking spot. No.
You texted me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I feel like I'm fallen. Why do you feel that way?
Life.
One of these lives, I'ma make these right with the wrongs I done. That's when I unite with the Father, Son, till then I fight.